Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
Also, I recognize that right now what's happening in the Forex market is disruptive, and so therefore it's inherently controversial. What I would recommend for anybody who's hearing what we're suggesting or what I'm suggesting as investment alternatives to consider or add to your quiver of tools that you can use to take advantage of a potential market move, do your own research. I mean, even paper trading for a little while just to see, all right, well, so what happens if I do put this to the test? I'll paper trade this a little bit and contrast a couple of positions. Can I start to, better internalize some of the advantages or the disadvantages that I'm trading off by supplementing my trading, currency trading with FX options? Even if I don't leave the OTC market working with a dealer or what have you completely, could I find, through that experience, could I find ways in which that makes sense to implement that in my trading, especially for, I think it's particularly effective for positions that are going to be in play for, weeks at least, if not, a couple of months. Any other questions?
John, I love the way you answered that question about leverage regarding the strike prices, because I get that question so often. Attendees will want to know the magical answer on in, at, or out of the money options. Love your answer that it really comes down to each trader deciding for themselves, but options give you a lot more choices than trading in the spot market. I think that's just, a benefit in itself.
Yeah, I would agree. It sounds trite, but I would say options give you options. They give you a lot of choices. So you can take really, really aggressive positions that are very aggressive, something similar to in risk profile of what you might see in the spot market, and you can take pretty conservative positions, like really conservative positions. And the advantage is you can do it all in one account. So if you're a trader who tries to access more than just one asset class, so if your trader is interested in the Forex, but you kind of cut your teeth in the equity and equity options market, well, having access to currency options within one account is also a nice advantage. So being able to just manage everything in one place, I think, is important for most traders.
I definitely agree. And John, the other interesting point is that I know, and you were mentioning this early on about the euro and what's going on in Greece, but if you watch the options market in the last couple months, volatility hasn't changed that much, which is really interesting because it is in the media every day, and I think if you'd ask 20 spot traders what the options market was inferring, most would say, oh, a lot of volatility, this and that, the next thing. But if you really scrutinize the options market, it's a completely different story, and that might help you develop a trading plan here in the options market.
Mm-hmm. Steve, I'm drawing a blank on the symbol XDN, but Don is asking a question about YUK and XDN. But
yeah, that's the Japanese yen. That's the PHLX option.
Oh, okay.
And so I don't know if it's the inversion on the PHLX side or not. That is the Japanese yen, but I'm not certain if they invert that or not. I'm sorry, John. I'm going to take a quick look.
That's okay. So Don, we may have to defer on that one. In fact, I'd be willing to look that up for you, Don. If you, one of the things that we do over at Learning Markets, for those of you who'd like to learn a little bit more about currency options and just kind of an ongoing analysis of the markets in general, we do free daily videos every day where we just take questions. So email the questions in. Sometimes we have to do a little research because they're pretty involved. So you're welcome to come check that out. And we do talk about trading currency options as well as equity options and spot currencies as well. So We try to take a fairly holistic view of the market and market products. And so if you want to dig in a little bit more into, okay, well, so maybe I haven't been an options trader in the past, but I've got my curiosity piqued a little bit. We have an entire course on, it's all free, you can just go check it out, on currency options as a potential alternative or addition to currency trading. So you can get a lot more information if you need a little bit of background help on how do options work and what does this mean at the money and strike prices and how do I pick what I want to pick. And so we can get into a lot more detail with the material over at learningmarkets.com than we can get into in just, a 45-minute presentation.
John, that is the inverted. So it's trading at 107.76, which I think is the inversion from the U.S. dollar yen. But, I mean, okay, like you said, we should do more research on it.
Okay, thanks, Steve. So, Don, what it looks like is that they might be actually the reverse of each other, where one goes up, the other one goes down, vice versa. But let's check out for sure, and I can get you a good answer. Any other questions?
John, what's your sense? I know that you're really been following what's going on in the spot world. How much longer is it going to take for the regulators? Of course, there's no deadline, but what do you hear from other participants that are staying very close to the developments in the spot market? You think something will happen in the next couple of months?
You mean the leverage changes?
Yes.
Yeah, so here's what I'm hearing. As usual, the NFA is being pretty tight-lipped about stuff, but what I'm hearing on the industry side is that there are some very energetic negotiations back and forth. So I suspect that that we'll probably get resolution in the short term, and the feeling that I'm getting out of the industry is that it's probably not going to be the quote-unquote worst-case scenario, but it won't be the best-case scenario either. I mean, depending on how you view leverage and how much you rely on 100 to 1, that things may be. And I know a lot of traders that I talk to who've been in the market for a long. I mean, they haven't just been in for a month, but they've been in for a long time, for several years. It's almost a non-issue to them because they just don't use leverage in those ways. So, I suspect we're going to get the vibe that I'm hearing on the institutional side is that they're pretty close to finalizing things, and it'll probably be somewhere in the middle. Not the worst case, but it will be a significant change.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.